week's Threat Hunting Thursdays. I'm David, founder and CEO of Bayse Intelligence. I'm going to close this window really quick since I see we have a little bit of glare. Thanks for joining today. I'm pretty excited about today. I wanted to jump directly into one of the features that we have allows you to tag. It allows people to tag things too, but system automatically has information tagged by a whole bunch of different things. And one of the sets of tags that we have is open directories, and more specifically, open directories that have content available. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to walk through how you can access that, and then also we'll just jump right into leveraging it, finding some phishing kits, ideally. Okay, so I think, yep, we got volume and we've got the screen showing. Okay, so we're all good. Okay, so you can get into the threat hunting tags in Bayse Investigator, our UI, in a bunch of different ways. But for people who don't have a paid account, you won't be able to search for them. You just might be able to come across them. So one thing that we do that makes it a little bit more accessible for people who are not paying but still want to search is we have our GitHub. We have a whole bunch of different things, and one of the repos is site fingerprints, and this is where we collect the different site fingerprints associated with different things. So we got hunting, opendir, content available, and then you can see all of the different fingerprints that in our system map to this. So we've got content available for a bunch of different structural IDs, which are site fingerprints in our system. So let's go ahead and pivot into one of these. We have a handy little link into Bayse directly in the document so that it's easy for people to pivot. So let's just go ahead and see what we've got over here. So this one tracks things for a long time. So essentially it's easy to fingerprint for us different sites that have content available as an open directory. It shows up as a small number of site fingerprints. If we find new ones, we add them. But we'll just see what we've got here. So, we've got, let's just see what this one looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and open that in a new screen. Okay, so we've got this one, approved annual OneDrive. So this looks interesting, right? And we identified it as OneDrive.com. That's what it looks most similar to. So we don't yet have this in the platform itself. It's actually on the reasonably short list. But what we want to do is go and visit that. All right, so we got an analysis view, and this has, we've got a VPN set up and a couple of other things. But let's go ahead and go to this. Okay, so this one was already identified as an unsafe site by safe browsing, but we still have the content. So let's see what we got over here. Okay, so we grabbed this zip. You can see that I have a different one that already exists. I'm going to go ahead and open that, and I'm going to go to it. I'm going to go to it in terminal. So we are maybe it's just on our desktop. Okay, maybe I'm just an idiot. Okay, magic. Let's see where this is. Super weird. Let me come over. Yeah, it's supposed to be in home downloads. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing it there. Okay, I don't know what was going on there. All right, so we found it. Anyway, so now we're over here. Let me make this full screen. And we have this approval one. All right, let's see what we got here. So we got robots.txt. That's not particularly exciting. And then we've got, let's see what this Jinku. Okay, so that just looks like it might be a bunch of content. So we can look at it over here. No, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so we're just looking at this one. All right, so we just got a bunch of different things here. Again, this is a VM, so as long as they don't have some 0-day, I'm not particularly worried. And even if they do, then it's on a system that's also isolated. So not particularly worried. Looks like they legit grabbed the contents of what OneDrive looks like. So not particularly surprising given the name and given the fact that we identified it as OneDrive.com. So that's all pretty straightforward. Let's see what this jQuery7. I don't know if they're trying to go for jQuery. Yeah, they just decided to rename it, maybe for some little obfuscation. I'm not going to go ahead and dig into that because it's probably nothing interesting. But it was obfuscated. Whether or not that comes standard like that or not, I'm not sure. Oh, let's look at roll.js really quick. Okay, so no, not particularly interesting. All right, so anyway, we're over here. And let's just dive into, let's look at the error log. Okay, so interesting stuff. They've got a geo plugin that looks for probably for some geo targeting to understand where their people are from. You can see that this is super old. This is from September 2019. Again, the dates could be mucked up, but we see September 2019. We see October 2020. And interesting, JoJo. No comment. Public HTML, patron, clip. We got hand.php. So this looks like literally somebody was testing. I guess they left this in here. And it seems as though the last thing that we have is January of 2021. You can see home, sun, virtu, public HTML, HR, rev, office, source equals page landing protected. And again, we have Microsoft, OneDrive ID, 477 blah 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 .velius.com. So I bet that's another interesting one that's at this point probably well past interest because it's from 2.5 years ago. But we find some interesting stuff there. Let's see what else we have. So we can look at PHP. We got a base 64 image in there. We got a PO for a fake PDF, well, for a PDF that's probably malicious. Actually, I was looking to see if we had information about where that PDF is. I don't see it right here. unless I'm blind. I want to check this. Oh, just see if we have anything interesting in here. Not particularly. Let's look at clip.php. Okay, so this is where they have their geo plugin. We've got a header. So this is, we're sending information. We have created by Burhan rather. So we got two different. So we got geoplugin.net and we have geoiptool.com. You also see like ipinfo.io in here. There's a couple of other ones that I'm blanking on right now that you'll see in here. But we've got send is Pablo1max at yandex.com. And then we have the from address, drive support, and then at some bunk domain that's probably something set up for a particular campaign. So again, if this were new, this could potentially be pretty interesting stuff to know, but we've got a couple of different names and IPs. I'm just going to take a picture of this so that I have it for a little bit later. And then let's see. So we looked at error. I don't think we looked at hand. Hand is very much similar. We got crack ass and jade. So that's fun. Again, it says created by Burhan. And we got another Sajuk at protonmail.com. So that's also interesting. Oh, trying not to click on things. So yeah, that's another interesting one there. And then let's see what we got here. So our HT access. Interesting. So definitely trying to filter out a whole bunch of bots. We're blocking IP range by CIDR. Just one. We're filtering out a whole bunch of different. Oh, okay. Here's some more. A whole bunch of different ones. So Netcraft, we're calling out a whole bunch of different tools that exist out here, and a whole bunch of different ranges that are very likely related to different tools or things that they want to ignore. And interesting. Looks like maybe what we have, if we match a certain refer, it's going to rewrite safe browsing. So maybe that safe browsing link we got actually has nothing to do with it actually being identified as bad. So that's a pretty interesting one. All right, so super interesting one. All right, so that was our first phishing kit. And let's just see. Yeah, so that's forbidden. Let's see. Well, we can't go up because this is the top. So yeah, all right, pretty interesting, interesting one there. Going back to Bayse really quick. Have we seen any other things that match this identifier? Oh, right, because we're in an open dir. That was dumb. Let's come back to this directory and see, have we seen it actually be live? So, okay, so our system automatically resubmits things that we find open dirs for if we're able to collect content. And so we see that it was not yet up. Again, we identified it as OneDrive, so that's pretty much as expected. Just to double check, I think I didn't pivot on this yet. So we first saw this today. So it's not, for us, it's not new. So that the log, for whatever reason, the attacker left that log in there. That log's been around for a while, so this has clearly been moved around over time. It would be cool to have seen the actual site. Maybe it will come up in the next couple of days or weeks. We'll be tracking this domain until it potentially comes live to see if we can get results from it. Okay, let's go back to another site fingerprint. Another Opender. See if we have anything else that looks pretty exciting. Let's see. Let's pivot on this one. So there's a lot of these cprapid.coms that show up as interesting. SVR. Let's give it a go. So we're going to pivot back to our VM over here. We're going to open a new one. Sorry for my dogs. They're super cool when I try to, that's the one that we already had. Let me just type it. All right, so that's that one. Okay, so it's telling me that it isn't actually HTTPS. It's just HTTP. It's fine. Okay, so we don't have anything exciting on this one. All right, so bust on that one. Let's come back over here. Let's look at this one. So that just has images. I mean, it could have obviously something more interesting, but let's pivot into our advanced search so that we can look at all of the different content available openers. So I'm going to borrow this. This functionality, basic search is available for anybody, but the searching on tags and a couple of other things is only available for paid users. What am I doing wrong? Nothing. Okay. For some reason, there was a little validation bug there. Okay, so anyway, the one that we were looking at, we pivoted from over here, was 434, or ends in 434, I should say, which starts in 8585. Okay, so that's that one. Let's look at, let's go to a different one. So let's maybe pick, I mean, all of these we've seen within the last few days. This one we've seen within the last day. Oh, looks like maybe these are all private ones. So even though they're private, if we've ever seen something that matches it, we'll go ahead and flag it as such. We just won't make it available unless you're the owner. Okay, so over here we've got a whole bunch of pretty interesting ones. Man, it's pretty much what do we want to look at. So let's pick something that's today to increase the likelihood that it's still up. So findcache7.com. So this is clearly a site with a bunch of different things underneath it. So let's grab, well, technically it'll be this, since that's what we're coming from ultimately. Okay, so this is part of a scam that we're aware of that's pretty large. Let me see. So it's possible that it was set up since we saw the open dir earlier. Let's check this. Yeah, okay. So they've set it up since. You should actually be able to see if that's true. Yep. Okay. So findcache7.com. You can see that there's a lot of different things that it's coming from. So we've got get high cache 60, meta works joins, blah blah blah. Okay, so we can pivot on this, and this actually shows another. Oh, okay. Well, that one doesn't because it says suspended. But let's go back here and grab one that's not suspended. So apparently they brought it back up. Okay, so we got bunk work from home stories. Let's go ahead and click on this one. Oh, this is actually a different scam link, but it's definitely a scam. So we've got, we pivoted on that, and now using our site fingerprints, we can see what are all of the other things that we've seen that match us, whether or not we know they're bad, right? So this has been seen since we turned site fingerprints on back in May. We've seen it 17,000 times since then, of which there are a variety of different sites. It looks like we just got a couple of, okay, so there's fbsalaryoption1.com, tagsalary.com, findcache7.com. Each of which, as you noticed a second ago, might be coming from a bunch of different places, right? Because this findcache7.com was seen on, well, it's been seen 7,000 times since May, but we see get high cache, metawork joins, blah, 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 job, cache live get. So tons and tons of different sites. But the cool part is if you use site fingerprints, let's add this as a scam. You would be able to stop 17,000 attacks with one indicator, just this indicator right here. So let's go and look at what other scams we see. So we've got just a few that we've labeled. This one is the one that we just put in here, 16,785 times. The one that is far and away the most frequently abused, that actually caused us to create additional functionality, was this one that's been seen 157,000 times, and it's literally just about the exact same site. You can see a wide variety. It's almost always hosted on Cloudflare's pages.dev. I have many bones to pick with Cloudflare because they could literally just use this site fingerprint, which conveniently starts with leet, and stop this entire attack before it ever goes live forever. And then when it evolves, you use the new fingerprint, and then you stop it forever. So anyway, we can look at it. So very, very similar to the other one that we saw just a moment ago, which I'm looking to find an example of again. All right, I guess we'll use that one. All right, so single mom makes 89K. She only had 1 month to save her family's home from the bank. Pleading on, the plea is all about trying to make this sound legitimate. So work from home special report was the title of this one. This one's the same. And the interesting part is over in the other example, findcache7.com, that's literally just one site that has a whole bunch of different things feeding into it. Whereas over here, a whole bunch of different pages.dev links that are feeding into it. So they just host findcache7.com. Whereas over here, you can see that it's just using that full site all the way through. So if we did a scene on sites over here, we'd probably not get any, right? So we've not seen it on any other sites, but we have seen it here as part of the analysis. And like I said, it's Cloudflare's web app hosting root domain. Whereas over here, findcache7.com, right? We pivoted on that a second ago, and we saw that, it's been seen a whole bunch of times. And so there's a whole bunch of different links that are submitted that end up going to that. So this is how we say, like, if you want to start at findcache7.com and look at everything that led to it, that's the submitted URL category over here. So we can literally see dozens, if not hundreds, of different sites, and we're still just in the first day. So these are all, literally all of these match that same fingerprint. Take them all down. Okay, so maybe I'll just really quickly pivot back over. There's actually, let me see if I can remember what it was. No, I can't remember, but I wanted to show one more phishing kit that I had found a couple of days ago that you might have seen if you were very quick at looking at things a moment ago. So let's see. I think the site is this. It's still live. So if anybody's watching this, you might still be able to grab it. Anyway, coryfcu.zip. Clear as day, they're trying to convince people to enter in their credentials. That's what we see. And let's just come down here. And let's just get it. Or not get it, but unzip it. Oh, that's super annoying. Anyway, we kind of just blew that up. Oh, it seems as though they maybe they set it up on Mac. Yeah. Okay. And we've got, let's just go back to the view over here. This view. Downloads. So I can make that better. There we go. Let's ignore that one for now. This is just easier to read. So we can look at that. These guys just have, like, it's an amalgamation of a whole bunch of different phishing kits. It's super weird. indexx.html. Let's look at that one. Okay, so whatever's going on there, let's come back here and look at trying to remember where the interesting stuff. So we can do that slash. So we've got README. Okay. So author email. I think that might, I'm not sure that that's actually malicious, TBD, but live. We've got index.php. So there's the include database connect. Got add.php down here. Got block user.php, echo row ID. Click the set one-time password. This is so they tried to legitimately imitate the site, but let's see what we got. How about active.php? Okay, so we got that. Let's look here again. I think I saw a log the other day when I was looking at this. I'm just like, oh, let me look at email.php. Yeah, so there's somebody's email, probably part of this. Config.php. This is where they have their Telegram bot, which if you know how to enumerate Telegram bots, which we do in the back end, you've got the bot token and the chat ID right here. So that would spit out information about who's been checked by this, if this is actually active still. And then let's just see if there's any others here. Let's look at database connect.php. So we got nice username and password, really cool things to leave in your phishing kit. So if there's a database that's live, I'm not going to go and poke around with that. I don't want to get too far in the weeds here, but that's, I think, where we'll stop today. Obviously, there's a lot of really interesting stuff that shows up in these phishing kits, a lot of information that can be mined, a lot of emails that can be learned for identifying attackers in other places. So all of this information, again, if you have Bayse Investigator Pro, you can go ahead and dig into the tags and find all of these different openers. And as time goes on, we're going to actually make it possible to have the content available for you to download. This will only be for paid users, only for people who know what they're doing, but we'll make that available so that people can actually study, understand, and then use that information to stop attacks going forward. I think that's everything for today. That site fingerprint that we added a little bit earlier in the next iteration, which I think it runs every hour, will be populated over here in our site fingerprints functionality. So it'll show up there in about 20 minutes. All right. With that, thank you so much. And hopefully you learned something pretty cool